Welcome to the Asset Catalog tutorial. Asset catalogs, or explorers, list all of the available assets installed in Pragma, such as models, materials, or particle effects. Each of these asset types has a separate catalog, but for the sake of this tutorial, we will focus on the model catalog. Open the model catalog to continue. Every asset catalog has a directory-like structure like this, which corresponds to the file structure of the assets on disk. You can find all models that have been locally installed in Pragma here, as well as models that have been detected in external sources, such as in installed source engine games. If you want to hide external assets in the catalog, you can disable the Show External Assets option at the top, in which case only locally installed assets will be shown. To continue, try navigating to the directory pfm/demo. Some models may appear with a placeholder icon such as this one. This means that the model is not in a format that can be used directly by Pragma and has to be converted first. This happens automatically when the asset is used for the first time, at which point a proper icon is generated as well. Alternatively, you can also convert the asset manually by right-clicking it and choosing Import Asset. Try it now with this asset. You can also right-click the empty space between assets and select Import All Assets, which will import all of the non-native and external assets in the current directory. Depending on how many external assets there are, this may take some time and disk space. If you want to search for a specific asset, you can use the smart filter at the bottom. The name you enter does not have to be an exact match. Try typing chair into the filter field and press enter to continue. The filter looks through all available assets in all directories and lists the best matches in order, starting at the top. To place a model in your scene, you can simply drag and drop it from the catalog into the viewport to the right. Try placing this chair somewhere in your scene. There are also various actions you can perform on a model by right-clicking it in the catalog or in the viewport. You can get more information for each option through the tooltip by hovering over it, but we'll go through some of the more important ones here. If you plan on using a model frequently, you can add it to your favorites by selecting Add to Favorites, after which it will receive a star icon and appear in the Favorites directory in the catalog. Try adding the highlighted asset to your favorites now. You can share a model with other people by right-clicking it and selecting Pack Model. This will create an archive with the model, as well as all materials and textures used by it. To install the model, the archive can then simply be extracted into the Pragma installation directory. Try packing the model now. Similarly, you can also export a model by selecting Export Asset. This will convert the model into the GLTF format, which can be used to then import it in a modeling software such as Blender. Try exporting the model now. Asset icons are automatically generated, but in some cases the default perspective may not be ideal. You can change it by pressing and holding the right mouse button while holding the Alt key and then moving the mouse around. This also allows you to quickly inspect a model from different perspectives without having to place it in the scene first. If you want to install new assets to PFM, there are several ways to do it. The easiest and recommended method is to use the integrated web browser, which you will learn about in a future tutorial. Alternatively, if you have downloaded a model from a website, you can simply drag and drop the model into the asset catalog, and it will be imported automatically. This also works if the model is packaged in a zip archive, in which case you can drag and drop the zip archive into the catalog. An Explorer window should have opened, containing a GLB model file called barramundifish.glb. Try dragging it into the asset catalog to import it. Depending on what kind of model it is, you can choose between importing it as a single model or as a collection. Some model files may contain an entire scene with many models, in which case you can import it as a collection to import all of the contained objects as separate models. In this case, the model file only contains one model, so you should import it as a single model. One more thing before we conclude this tutorial. If you import a map, e.g. from the source engine, a model will be generated for the map's world geometry, which you can then find within the Maps directory in the model catalog. This can be handy if you want to use the geometry of multiple maps within the same PFM project. This concludes the tutorial on the model catalog. The other asset catalogs, which you can find by pressing this icon, function largely the same way. You can now end the tutorial or press the Continue button to start the next tutorial in this series.